Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's fucking get it.
Welcome back to MiniLCS Summer Invitational 2026. As you can see, I am here with Day 0 as we are going to run the game that happened yesterday, the series, sorry, that happened yesterday. It was another lower or loser quarterfinals. It was Weenie Meepa, I hardly know her, versus 3 Porridge Snacks. And at the constant pings of, when you stream the game, when you stream the game, can you stream the game? We're streaming the game. It's happening. Don't you worry. We're gonna find out which one of these teams are getting knocked out.
We need to set a precedent here, though, because if you set the precedent, the DMing and bitching permanently.
Oh no, it doesn't. They're just lucky. They're just lucky this time.
Jason's just lucky because you know, it just so happened to be a good time for us to run the game. If it weren't a good time, it wouldn't have happened. Don't think that you bitching got what you wanted, because I don't want that. I don't want people. We have a ticket system now. Don't DM me anymore, people. I swear to God, I'm too nice to the point where I just feel obligated to respond to them. But I'm telling you, like, I'm burning the fuck out here, and I swear to God, sometimes I get DMs from people and I just want to ignore it, and like I just be like, submit a ticket, and then just not fucking respond. And I'm gonna, it's the more DMs I get from randoms about tournament stuff, the more that is gonna just become the de facto. It's just at a certain point I'm gonna stop responding, and it's just gonna be an assumption that you have to just submit a fucking ticket and like not fucking harass me.
Well, see, I'm the opposite, because I don't respond to DMs unless it's from a select like five group of people. So you're gonna get ignored if you try and DM me. Don't DM me, especially if it's a ticket. What are you DMing me for? Put it in the ticket. Doesn't matter.
Indeed.
We are going into draft, and Snacks decided to take blue side. I think that is probably because of the new artwork. It probably bugged out.
Bug there because of draft.all. Yeah, unfortunate. But yeah, all right, let's talk about this game here real quick before we get into the actual game. So Snacks are a team. I mean, this, by the way, even though this isn't losers quarterfinals, so it's whoever loses here is in 5th/6th place. Both of these teams are the first place seeds in their group. So this is, in theory, you know, had things played out as the group seeding suggests, this is technically grand finals. Like that's what this should have been. And it has been underperformances on both sides that has caused it to find itself in this area where we're in this loser bracket, quarterfinal performance, 5th to 6th place. And one of these teams is going home, you know? So that's a rough one. And if you look at 3 Poros, 2 Snacks, you know, we've got Synthet returning, currently the only standing champion from Winter of 26. Winter of 26, yeah. We're not in 2027 yet. Winter Open 2026. He's the last one standing, you know? Tide, Tide, Soot, and Chapati Master were on Volley Babes. You could argue they're technically now substitute players for Corn and Ball Therapy, but I don't count that. I'm not, you know, that you guys didn't make it out of groups. As far as I'm concerned, their run is over. If they, you know, if CBT end up making it all the way to grand finals and winning the tournament, which I don't think is very likely, considering in grand finals, the team that destroyed them 2-0 in the winners bracket is sitting there waiting for them. But if they did, you know, I wouldn't count that as a defense for those players, considering they're substitutes now. And Synthet is the only person still actively live in the competition, main roster position, that was on that roster, like on that lineup, on Church of Copium Kings, our current Weenie champions, right? So, you know, he's got a lot to defend here. If he's out, then we are going to have completely new champions come the end of next week, actually. That is when finals is. And on the other side, we have a completely new team. All 5 players on this team came in. This is like, I mean, Bushy technically played in Winter for 1 series, and then abandoned the team because he got brought onto a roster that he didn't want to play for. In fact, I believe I wasn't made aware of this, and had I been made aware of it, I'd have probably put a caveat in the draft to say it couldn't have happened. But apparently he had privately spoken with the captain of his roster and said, don't fucking draft me. And the guy drafted him anyway. And so he was like, yeah, bro, I'm not gonna be a fucking willful prisoner here, so I'm out. And so he decided, you know, I can make my own team with blackjack and hookers. And so that's kind of what Meepa I Hardly Know Her is. And yeah, blackjack and hookers might be right, because their team has been cooking some of these drafts, bro. I have been a consistent doubter of this team, and they have consistently proven me wrong. They lost one series in groups, and it was against the last place team. Make that make sense. They have 2-0'd most of the people they've faced, and they have done it with some really obscure picks. They have done, I think, Bushy has like 3 singed jungle games. He's played a ton of random stuff and has made it work. You know, we've seen a couple of the Rise jungle games. He whipped out Ezreal jungle a few weeks ago. He's been cooking. But for this series, it needs to be mentioned that he isn't here. They have the former jungler of Church of Copium Kings and current technically defending jungle champion in the jungle, Mahasvara. So Mahasvara, obviously the original captain of Church of Copium Kings, current defending champion. He didn't actually sign up for this tournament properly, or technically he signed up and then pulled out because he had obligations. But you know, the team, there was some personal issues that meant that Bushy and Pluma, the support for Meep, couldn't take part in the game. And so they had to brought Mahasvara in, and they brought Slender Wolf, who was the support for Iron Brew Esports, in to cover for Pluma. So yeah, this is a Meepa roster that we have never seen, because their captain and their support, who have been stalwarts, they've literally missed 0 games. They aren't here anymore. So we're gonna have to see how the team performs, because Bushy, especially in those mid to late game team fights, when they put him on some of these more obscure carry junglers, you know, once he gets out of that early kind of clears kind of point of the game, you know, he's a big proponent in why they win games. But the second big proponent in why they win games, Llama Knight, is here, and he is on a very stable champion here in the Victor. I think Victor into Echo, it's gonna be so hard for Jason to do anything in this lane. Unless he gets an early kill, Victor will just bully him in lane, and then Jason has to just look for roams. That's his only option. It's basically just, let's pair up with Jarvan and 3-man top. Let's bully this Sejuani, or let's 4-man bot and bully this melee carry in Gangplank. Right? So if we're looking at win cons here for the blue side, I'm expecting Synthet to run top lane on this Aatrox. Anything less is a loss for him. He's up against an off-meta top laner in Sejuani, one of the worst performing top laners in the tournament, considering their team is in first place in Puppy top laner. If you watch their game against Rift Raiders, Puppy top laner was a large proponent of why they struggled. Melancholy Maze put them to school, and they were like 0-18 at the end of the 2 games. You know, it was like they had an 0-6 or an 0-7 performance, and then an 0-11 performance on Aurelia. It was an all-time rough performance for them. So we're gonna want to see whether or not with this edge pick here that we can see maybe Puppy top laner pops off here with the unconventional top laner. But to be fair, the Meepa draft is unconventional in more ways than one. They have GP AD carry, which is something we've seen a bunch. And I actually, funnily enough, I got told the tech for this for this particular lane, but it's not supposed to be with Braum. It's supposed to be with Milio, because Milio he synchronizes really well with Gangplank. It kind of covers the fact that he's melee. You know, the range extension I believe works with his Q, I think, and so it makes it a lot easier for him to farm safely, scale into the late game. But anyway, I have talked enough. Let's get the game going, because it is already 10:34 and I need this camera to go away so I can get a Jaffa cake. Let's get that going. Home. Now, Aaron, do you remember the old Jaffa cake adverts from the 2000s with the
full moon,
fucking full moon, half moon, total eclipse? Banger advert, bro. Holy shit. In we go, in we go, in we go.
I'm surprised they allowed Synthet the Aatrox.
The Aatrox, yeah, same. I mean, the only thing I will say to it is, obviously, Mahasvara is the jungler here for Meepa, and he knows Synthet really well, because they were, I'm sure you can remember in winter, the win condition a lot of times for Church of the Copium Kings was sit top. Mahasvara would always play for top. He would always play for Synthet. He knows how Synthet plays. He knows how to exploit it. So I assume they've given the Aatrox away because they have a plan for it, right?
Yeah.
And that plan currently looks like lock him down, but we're going to see a bad trade here in the early game for Jason. Takes about a third of his HP there just from walking into Mahasvara on the Shyvana. Shyvana is currently one of the stronger junglers. We've never seen Mahasvara play it in officials, but it is currently one of the top 3 or 4 junglers in solo queue at the moment. Sees a lot of play. And that PTA build as well kind of tells you how he intends to play this, which is he's gonna look to he's gonna be a little bit more damage focused. He's gonna be a little bit more burst focused. You know, usually you got 2 builds here for Shyvana. You've got PTA, which is all about kind of getting the Q1, Q2, Q3 out and being in that big chunk of burst damage to try and kill this Jinx. Or again, if Echo falls behind, it's gonna be to burst him as well. Or you go Conqueror, in which case you're like, I'm kind of a little bit more bruisery. I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to burst you, but I want to get multiple uses of my spells off and heal while doing so, right? So, yeah, we should expect to see some big damage out of that Shyvana if she can get ahead in this game.
Now,
meanwhile, if we all gone.
The Sejuani top, it definitely is an off-meta pick. I do play Sejuani in the jungle, but in top, it's a interesting pick against its Aatrox. I don't know if they had anything else in the roster or in the pool that they could have picked.
We've seen a lot of not unconventional tops, but unconventional builds from Puppy top laner. So she's, for example, we've seen a lot of the Volibear top from her, but it's not a regular lethal tempo Volibear. It's unsealed spellbook Volibear. Or like, for example, we've seen them play like Titanic Hydra Rush Mundo and stuff like that. And so they seem to very clearly have their own way of looking at the game, and it's not what the meta tends to be. But I don't dislike the Sejuani pick because it works twofold here, right? If you know you're going to lose lane anyway, you pick something that's always going to be useful. Sejuani is a champion that you can play in the jungle as a very low econ champ, and you know, throwing it top lane against someone where if you really wanted to fight them, you're probably going to lose just because you're going to get out mechanicked. You know, once you've got Glacial Prison, you know, you've got, what, 3 melees on the team? Four, sorry, because you've got Slender Wolf on the Braum as well. So, you know, we have so many people who can stack the Sejuani passive for her E. We have, you know, again, Glacial Prison is always useful. The Q is always useful. And her damage isn't terrible in the early game. You can see she's picked up the Darksteel, so she might be going for a bit of an AP build here instead of a tank build. I don't know if that's the correct play, but I'm interested to see how it goes, right? Currently, we're about 10 CS down, chunked out there as well. She is going to get the stun off onto the Aatrox, but if we look at the summoners between the two of them as well, Synthet's going to be looking, especially when he gets that World Ender, to probably all in and probably try and kill here, but we'll see if they can. There's a nice little double barrel there from Disco Fisk. Is going to hurt Nebe there. And yeah, I want to mention, I think the thing with the 3 Poros 2 Snacks lineup is like their highs have been so high, but the problem is their lows have been really low as well. Like, there have been times where we have watched Snuff and Nebelution like 2v8 games, right? When they get Snuff on the Xayah, when they have Nebe on something that's like safe, like a Milio, like a Seraphine, they have been able to just run games. But then we've equally, oh, hold up, Aatrox might be dead here. We're going to see the flash come out there by Mahasvara, not going to be able to finish it off. There's going to be a flash for flash trade, and then I saw it on the HUD. The Sejuani also popped flash there to try and kill him, but it didn't actually manifest. So unlucky there for the red side. They do end up taking a summoner deficit there. 2 flashes for 1, and they don't get the gold for it as well. at least lane control here will be granted to the Sejuani, but okay, Aatrox said, nah, I'm actually confident to fight.
Like, this is the time where the Sejuani needs to go in on, well, okay, not anymore, since it's just got level 6.
Yeah, with World Ender now, it's so much harder. I like this early aggression here from Snuff, being able to just force Disco Fisk out of lane here on the melee champion. This is the kind of thing we need to see. I think a lot of times we have not seen Meepa be punished for picking stuff like this Gangplank bot. You know, it is a melee champion. It should be very abusable in the early game, right? Like, don't get me wrong, his Q range is good and it doesn't cost him so much mana. He can use it consistently in lane. It's not terrible, but like, you know, just on purely auto attacks, which are free. Like, his Q has a cooldown. Your auto attacks, their wind up action is not that long. Nice base stop here by Slender Wolf, but we can see it looks like Jason is making a move here onto Disco Fisk. Nice first blood pick up there for him. He's been actually able to keep up in CS here as well, which is actually really good considering how that level 1 trade went for him. I thought that Victor would actually punish him here in lane a little bit more, but it's not actually manifested into anything. And we can see pings here coming out by the red side, looking like they might want to start this Drake, but I don't know if they can. Snuff and Neba are down in that bot lane. They've just shoved the wave. They could move if they wanted to, but it looks like they're gonna take the reset and call it there. So yeah, it looks like everybody bails. And gonna leave it at that. We've got top camps to get.
One thing I have to comment on is we're not seeing the current meta in the bot lane of Mage's bot this game.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it is Weenie Hut. I'm not too surprised. I don't think we've seen too much of the Mage bot lane stuff in Weenie Hut in general. It's very much been like a hard stuck and sweat lord thing. And even then, I would argue I've only seen it be majorly successful in Sweatlord. There have been a couple teams in Hardstuck that have been able to pull it off, like the recently departed Artificial Ween Intelligence, for example. We get a little turret dive by Synthet there. It takes 3 turret shots, but he is going to walk away with that second kill there of the game.
She should have used ult.
And
the Sejuani, if she used ult, sure, he could pop the World Ender, but the amount of damage he took there.
She should have been able to get out.
Yeah,
I think. We didn't actually speak about her rune choice here as well. It should tell us a lot about how she wants to play this game. We got Storm Raider's Surge here. So she's looking for bursty trades, and it looks like with that Kindle gem, I'm assuming she's getting a rocket belt maybe? Which, yeah, I mean, that means we're going to be getting full AP Sedge. And considering you're already 800 gold down, you're already like doubled in CS by the Aatrox. I think that Sedge is going to have a hard time in this game. But that's just one lane, you know? If we look to the other lanes, we can see a little bit of a gold lead in the mid lane here for Jason Matt. It's basically his kill, right? The kill he got from that roam is the gold lead for him right now. And then we are very close in gold in the bot lane, but we're gonna see Dragon Form come out here by Shyvana. Nevolution gonna land a 2-man charm there, but the damage coming out from Meepa is so high. We're gonna see Disco Fist get his first kill of the game here onto Kentro, and now Jason is in a very much dangerous place. Luckily, the mobility of Echo E allows him to get himself to safety, but that was about to be no man's land for him. And that bad team fight there for Snacks mean that this Drake is going to be forfeit. We see the Super Mega Death Rocket come out, but we're not at the point in the game where the damage off of it is enough to have executed Disco Fisk there. And means they're going to get to walk away with the Dragon and the big cooldown as well. You know, at this point, at level 6, Super Mega Death Rocket cooldown is about 120 seconds. So that means we have about a minute and a half now of no threat of execution from that. So yeah, not a bad place here for Meepa. Only 700 gold down right now, and it is all in that top lane. And that was to be expected. We knew what we signed up for when we said we were going to run this particular draft here, right? I think only thing I will say is if we knew that, then why are we not playing the Sejuani like a tank? You know, why are we building her like AP? I think it's kind of dangerous. I think we should have really gone like Grasp of the Undying in this lane, because the extra health you would get off of those short trades would actually manifest into a meaningful, not an advantage, but like a meaningful like gold gain just purely off of that free HP. But you know what? I'm not a top laner, so don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time when it comes to top lane, because that lane tilts me, as we're going to see the World Ender going to be popped here. Glacial Prison goes super wide, and that is going to be the second kill here for Synthet, just farming it up in the top lane. You can see Mahasvara does show his face there, but I don't think he actually wants that fight. He's a level down. He's on just the Sheen right now. So the stat advantage is definitely in favor of this Aatrox. So gonna be difficult there. Zap is going to stop Slender Wolf there from getting his base off, which is nice for Snuff. She's gonna take a reset here. We've got Noon Quiver and 2 daggers, which I think is going to be Yunto Wild Arrows once it's all said and done. We'll see if she finishes it here, though. Did she just sell the 2? No, sorry, the 2 daggers went into Berserker's Grooves. Ignore me. I was about to be like, damn, she sold the daggers. What's she doing? But no, never mind. It turns out I'm legally blind. And she has gone for the tier 2 boots here first, which... if we're effectively spacing the Gangplank, I like the extra movement speed. I think the thing that sucks is it does mean that damage-wise, she will be behind the curve. Obviously, we're on tier 1 boots here for the Gangplank, so he will be a little bit slower, and he is melee, so again, he should have a harder time being able to land his damage, but we can see that Mahasvara is sitting in the bush waiting, thinking about trying to get himself in, but gonna have to hold that ult there. Definitely an option. He's gonna look for the base here, though. It looks like we don't. Oh, never mind. He's gonna go in. Dragon Form's gonna land. We're gonna see the ultimate pop there by the GP. Slender Wolf lands the ultimate onto Snuff, but it's gonna just be 1 kill and then shoving the wave in. As what looked like that wasn't going to be a play ends up actually working out for them. We see Echo go in, but Echo loses half of his health just for being in range of the Victor. Ignite was popped, but he doesn't have enough time to really actually get meaningful damage off of the Halo Blades there. So can we have a quick look and see how much damage Halo Blades has done for the Echo this game?
Yeah. Give me a sec.
If I had to guess, I think it's probably less than 100.
Halo Blades. 115.
Oh, I was 15 off. That's on bullshit. But yeah, I think that Halo Blades in this game is kind of hard for him to really do his game plan. Like, again, Victor is a champion that really excels in bullying people in lane. You know, his cooldowns are quite short, but, you know, all he wants to do is just Q, E, walk away. And then once he has ultimate, he's happy to take those longer fights. But yeah, in the early game, when Jason Matt would want to try and be like, I'll EQ and then auto with Halo Blades, realistically, you're getting 1 auto off of that combo, and then I think you're getting kited because the W will come out. Ignite going to be ticked there just as Glacial Prison lands, and that's going to be an easy 3rd kill for Synthet here, who's gone for the Spear of Shojin as his first item. 2.2k in the lead for himself right now, which is very good for him, but he's going to have to start translating it across the map. If he can't impact the rest of the map with this gold lead, then his team is just behind. And we need to be worried about whether or not they can actually, you know, do anything here. As we're going to see Kentro gets caught between 3 people. He flags and drags out, but in comes the Shyvana with the Dragon Form, and she's almost going to be able to kill the Seraphine. But here is Synthet. So much space is being bought by Jason Matt right now, but he isn't actually able to do damage. Synthet's going to get a kill here onto the Braum. We're going to see the anti-gravitational field come in, and it's going to lock up 2, but Jason Matt comes in and gets himself the kill. So that's going to be 2 down here for 1. Kentro is dead, Mahasvara is up, so it is still quite hard for Snacks to be able to actually take this dragon. They have started it, but I think it is potentially a fool's errand, because look, Mahasvara is on half HP. He could fly in and try to steal it, but he's actually going to choose not to. He's just going to commit to killing his blue buff. We see a good little bit of not spacing, sorry, like blocking by Jason Matt. And he nearly died for it though, not gonna lie. You know, that laser nearly killed him. And ooh, hold up, he goes really low there. Gotta get the shield. Hopefully he gets E again before he eats another Winter's Bite, but if he eats it, he is dead. And then Slender Wolf just gonna continue to pressure. All of the time he just bought is time for this Victor to just farm mid for free, right? Like, you know, Victor right now, he's got the Luden's Echo here, which is a burst item for himself. Snuff looks to be caught out here, and I think they are gonna just die. We see the barrier is burnt, Flash is gonna be committed. She gets away with like no HP. We don't actually have the Cannon Barrage either for the Gangplank, so he isn't gonna be able to finish that kill. We see blue side gonna pick up Herald here. Kentro maybe kind of the first thing he's done in the game, and now he's gonna go down, and it's Aatrox against the world here as he's 3v1. Shyvana is real low, but luckily the team are kind of keeping her safe, but you cannot keep her safe from the person behind the wall, as Echo just comes in with the E and smokes the Mahaswara for his first death of the game. And now Synthet is going back to his regularly scheduled bullying of this sorry, not Shyvana, of this Sejuani. But it looks like, oh, the point blank Winter's Bite miss is rough. Should still be a kill here though. Llama Knight will pick that one up, as Slender Wolf has to commit the ultimate there to make sure that they do finish off the Echo. And the gold is dead even here, right? It's only 300 between the two teams. We're gonna see Nevolution takes a chunk of damage there, but it's not gonna be enough to scare her away from the wave. She can't hold the wave, which is the most important thing. They do get to crash it, but she is not in immediate danger. We see, I think this is gonna be a trade here of Poppy top lane as a life. Not Poppy, Puppy, sorry. They are not a Yordle, they are a furry. Don't clip that. But you know, either way, they just made that willing trade of I will take this turret. It was first turret as well, which is kind of surprising that they got first turret against the person who's been routinely killing them. But you know what? Money is money, bro. That's all gold in the Sejuani's pocket. She's finished Dusk and Dawn here as well. In comes Mahasvara, and that is a very dead Seraphine. She just got obliterated in that one. And from there, it's kind of hard for the bot lane to do much, I think. Yeah, Snuff is very much in danger of being dove if the red team chose to, but we can see that it looks like Mahasvara doesn't want to do that. For the first time in the game here, Meepa have gained the gold lead, and that means that this GP's gold alongside the Shyvana's gold lead is enough to sate the 2.5k gold difference in that top lane. So, you know, currently, can we look at total gold, see who's saying? I mean, it's obviously going to be Synthet, but I'm interested to see. Yeah, there we go. The next 3 highest are all on the side of Meepa. Glacial Prison's going to come out here onto Aatrox. Aatrox isn't going to be able to land the W there, so she is going to walk out. And they're going to take a turret here on the bot side as well, so that's just more free, more global gold here picked up for the side of Meepa. 1.4k is the gold lead now, as a minute is on the clock until the next Drake. And I want to speak a little bit about how I feel like Kentro has had a really difficult time in this game. I think that what we should have seen in the early game was a lot of priority bot side. and we never really saw it come. Like we never saw him gank bot. I think maybe one gank in the last 20 minutes, if that. And I believe they got the flash of Braum, and that was it. And it was never punished again. They never got anything more. Now he has been a part of 3 of the team's kills, but it is hard. And you know, we spoke a little bit about how unconventional the draft was here for the red side, but we haven't spoken about the side effects of those jungle picks, which is Sejuani and Shyvana are prime real estate picks for Kentro. They're champions he has played multiple times in the event so far. Jarvan is another champion that he likes, but you know, they've pinched his pool here by putting the Sejuani in the top lane. And while it has led to a lead here for the Aatrox, if they don't win this game off of the fact that Sejuani top is kind of troll, then, you know, we're looking at a game 2 where we might be seeing Kentro be playing his B tier picks. You know, we might
maybe that's why the Sejuani was picked. You know, was to take it away from him.
Yeah, I think it probably was, to be honest. They know Kentro it has been popped, but it's only being is a zoning ultimate right now as they do start the Drake. I don't like this Drake start though. They really need a pick. They don't win the 5v5 here. We're gonna see Cannon Barrage is gonna come down. In comes Dragon Form, and we do fear up 3 people. Jason Matt tries his best to get in onto I think Llama Knight, but he doesn't actually have the damage to kill him, and in comes Gangplank with the 2 kills here. They're gonna be able to run down the rest of the blue side as we see. Unfortunately, Winter's Bite goes wide there, but it's so hard for Snuff to be in space here. We do get 1 kill. Echo does pick one up, and Jinx was excited, but she goes in melee range to try and get something more and just gets punished for it. The flash into melee range on the AD carry there is really condemning for the Jinx. And yeah, if we break down this fight, so I like the decision to start the fight, but this should have been done before we took residual damage from the Drake, right? And then the fight becomes so split. Echo is on one target, 4 members are on the other side of the pit. They can't help. No one can do anything with him. He has to pop his ultimate into no one because he takes so much damage. And then luckily he gets in there and kills the Braum, but Braum's not a prio target in this. And then yeah, that last bit there, Jinx, last man standing, and she just flashes in to die, is so damning. And we can see the gold lead here is now ballooned to 3k. So the gold lead for Aatrox is slimming. The gold lead for Shyvana and for GP has grown even further. And I think that this might be the point where Meep start to take the game, right? Their draft in the 5v5 is so much better because they have a great front line in Sejuani and in the Braum. Even though she's gone for Dusk and Dawn here as our first item, the inherent healing that comes with it means that it doesn't, you know, she might not have tank stats in the same sense that she's not got like Sunfire kick or something, but she will be healing. She's still inherently beefy off of her passive, right? And so she's still a great front line here. And she's got the played steel caps as well. Most of the damage coming out of the enemy team is AD. Echo should never be targeting Sejuani, so she doesn't need MR for him. If he was taking over the game, you know, he's like 8-0 right now and above everybody by like 2k gold, maybe you need MR because he's gonna, you know, he's gonna take over the game. He might start he might start swinging at you, right? But that's not the case, and so realistically his job here is really only to go on to the Victor. Victor is the only target he can really kill right now, and Victor has a level lead on him, so that means we've got an XP lead, we've got a gold lead, we've got an item advantage as well because he's finished his Shadow Flame. He's also built full burst here. He's built Luden's Echo, he's built Shadow Flame. His role right now is to explode someone with the upgraded E and with Qs, right? And so with that, yeah, man, Echo's gonna have a hard time because Echo's gonna throw himself in with E. He's gonna land Q, he's gonna land 1 auto to proc his passive, and then Hail of Blades isn't doing anything else for him. And the rest of the combo from Victor will just come out. We see here 4-man commit onto Aatrox here. Aatrox is trying his hardest to kill GP. He is going to get the shutdown. He walks underneath the turret here. Braum will hit the passive. We're seeing some of the healing come out there from the Aatrox, but it is a little too much. And if we look to the rest of the side of the map, we say, what are 3 Poros, 2 Snacks doing with all that pressure Synthet created? And the answer is nothing. They shove 1 wave mid and they get nothing else. So he dies here for not a lot. What is good though, obviously he got that shutdown. That shutdown was what, 345 gold. So that's a 645 gold kill. It did rebuild his lead. He's now at 2.7k. Red side are gonna start the Baron here. They know that the main gold lead for the enemy team is dead. If we remove that 2.7k gold lead for the top laner, it's really more like a 5k gold lead between the rest of the team. So they get that completely for free with Synthet in the grave. And really nice play there from Meepa to know when to capitalize, to know when to catch that Baron completely for free. And it's 45 seconds until the next Drake, which means, you know, they're all going back to that. You can see we've got 3 members here walking down that mid lane, looking to be there to contest the mid wave, to make sure they have control of the waves as we set up for this Drake. It will be soul point for them if they can get it. So they really want to do it. And you can see blue side here, they know they need a pick. They're bush cheesing, waiting for someone to walk in, and Slender Wolf is the person. They get that easy kill there, and now control of the pit is theirs. But it is a little while before the Infernal Drake is up. And Meepa set up the waves. They have the Baron buff. They're like, cool, we lose 1 Drake. We're taking all of these standing objectives. So much global gold is going into our pocket because you guys didn't set up waves before you went for this pick. And so yes, Slender Wolf dies, but we just ballooned the gold lead here. And now you're trying to stop us on the wave. You're not even going for the Drake, guys. You got the pick to get the Drake. Glacial Prison's gonna come out. Aatrox can't get across the wall, and that's gonna be well then the wasted. And Meepa get out with no casualties. Heist of the century, low-key. They actually get away with it. And now look what Meepa are doing. They are sending everybody the safe routes to the Drake. And that is kind of an iffy ult there by Shyvana, but she wants to make sure there's no easy escape routes. It doesn't matter about the fear, and never gets caught in the bush, and there's nothing she can do. She goes straight down, and you can see immediately the jungler here for Meepa is like, all right, boys, we got our pick. Let's get the Drake and get out. And that's just going to be sole point for them. They play the fight slowly, they play the play slowly, and they make it work for them. You know, we see that 3 Poros, 2 Snacks, they get antsy, they get a little impatient. They don't just commit to the objective they said they were going to do. They panic about the fact that the enemy team are going to get parts of their base, and then they contest that. And then they don't get the thing they wanted to get, you know, the thing they committed for, the thing they planned for, and they lose the fight. So it's just really, really difficult for them here. And yes, we do still have that 2.2k gold lead in the top lane, but I don't even think Synthet's the you know, the total gold highest champion in the game, and I'm right. It is now Disco Fist. We're going to see a hard commit here onto Puppy top laner. Cataclysm burnt, but she is a beefcake right now as the Glacial Prison is going to stop Jasomat from jumping that wall. And again, she gets away scot-free here. And yeah, we see some pings coming out here. Java and Cataclysm down, really big cooldown if they can abuse it. But I don't think they can. I think right now we're going to find ourselves in a little bit of peace, a little bit of chill across this map, because there's nothing to play for nearly 3 minutes, right? We can see the Baron is up in 2 minutes and 50. Our Drake is up in 3 minutes and 40. There's nothing to play for unless we want to overload a lane and pick up some T1 turrets, which is only really a thing that Snacks can do, because all of the turrets apart from that T2 bot turret are down for Meepa. Like, realistically, all we're doing here is farming waves, making sure everybody hits their next item power spike, or at least the important players do. And then we fight at that next Baron. That's kind of what the plan here for Meepa is going to be. We do see Puppy top laner potentially a little too far forward, but she is level 16 right now, so it's not too worrisome for her to fight the Echo and to fight the Jarvan. They don't have the facilities to shred her in that kind of quick fight, you know? She's got mobility, she's got tools to get herself safely out if she needs to, especially considering her team aren't playing around her. As we see another commitment here from the side of Meepa, we're going to see the World Ender come out, and Aatrox knows the enemy team is coming. She can see Llama Knight is here, we see Slender Wolf is here, we're going to see the Brawl Malt come out, and there is not much else that can really be done about this. He doesn't really... I genuinely think Synthet could have played that better. I think he dies regardless, but he didn't go to proc the heal from his Sundered Sky on anybody other than the GP. Like, he just, I think he committed mentally that I was going to try and kill GP and focus on no one else. Whereas if he had gotten Sundered Sky procs on multiple people, he would have lived for longer. But it is what it is. Because again, we see all the pressure that he makes here in this game isn't amounting to anything because his team cannot push elsewhere. It's just been really difficult here for the side of 3 Forest 2 Snacks, and as we see, it looks like, yeah, there we go. Of course he's going to have the highest damage in the game. He's been, oh, he doesn't actually. Llama Knight has more, but the highest damage of his team. He's been wailing on this Sejuani for like 20 minutes. But it is a little bit damning to look at the rest of the damage on the map. You know, only 10k from Snuff, only 8k from Jacemat. Even the Jarvan has done less damage than both supports right now. He has had a very difficult time finding his footing in this game. We see Llama Knight's going to have to burn the flash to get out. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, where do you think it's gone wrong for Snacks?
I think that once they went into the game, it kind of looked like they didn't have a game plan. Like, for example, you know, Kentro again, he didn't gank any lanes meaningfully. And I think you pick a champion like Jarvan, you B1 a champion like Jarvan because you want to be proactive. You want to be on the map, right? You want to, you know, you don't pick that champ to power farm. If you want to power farm, you pick someone like a Shyvana, you pick someone like Kayn or Graves or something, you know, someone who can clear real quick. Not Jarvan. Jarvan's not a slow clearer, but you know, you pick him because Flag and Drag is one of the most oppressive, one of the most low cooldown knock-up abilities in the game, and it's got such range that, you know, especially when you can use your flash to extend that range and whatnot, it's just a very good tool starting engagements, right? And so far, outside of the few kills we've seen from Kentro being involved, you know, he has been a part of 6 of the kills in the game. It's not been that impactful, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't feel like this game has been won or lost in the jungle right now. It feels like right now it's a little bit of a team diff. As we see, in comes the blue side. They don't get even a sniff at that Drake. So it is Infernal Soul spoon-fed over to the side of Meepa. I hardly know her. And they've got Baron as well. You know, it's really, the game is in their hands at this point. 7.7k gold lead. And they are commanding this game, but instead of starting to actually try and crack down on those inhibitor turrets, we're still kind of just farming right now, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't know how much longer we have this Baron buff. It is, but you know, we can still hope to see some cohesive gameplay. You know, it is 5s. And also that's another thing, I don't like this. I've seen this sentiment a lot from other casters casting Weenie Hut games, where they're just like, anything bad that happens, they're not trying to work out the logic behind it. They're not trying to, like, they're low-key flaming. Like, they're just like, I don't know, like just being like, it's Weenie Hut, guys. It's like, you know, let's try and work out the logic behind what people are doing. We don't need to sit here and pretend that it's good, but we can at least kind of try to understand it, you know. Let's not do the kind of, I don't know, bro, they are unfathomable animals and they should be on a fucking documentary. Like, that's, I don't know, you know.
Well, I know, but I think more as Synthet got ganked again for probably, I think, what was that, the 3rd or 4th time?
That's the fourth time he has died. Every single one of his deaths has been on a side lane being 3v1.
Yeah. I think for me the sentiment more is it's Weenie Hot. These are lower ranked players, me being one of them, and you know, people don't really know how to.
You bring balance to the force by being the last place person on the Weenie Hot leaderboard.
Yeah, don't say that. All right, let's ignore that. Okay, let's ignore that. I saw that the moment I made the power rankings thing. I was like, for fuck's sake.
That's what I'm saying. You brought balance to the force. Bro.
I'm like so close to editing myself out of that. Right, I don't need to be like that. And that's I joined the team as a sub.
Next split. You bring your own team. You bring a 5-stack. Just run it, bro. You need to convince Laurent to play because it's been 2 years since he's played comp. So even though he's hit Emerald in the past, he would still technically be Weenie eligible. You know, as long as he doesn't hit Emerald in 40 games. Because see if he can boost you to not last place. She died to Gangplank things. Gangplank has 100% crit right now, and he is a dangerous force in this game. We're gonna see. I think this is curtains right now for Snacks. I think this is gonna go to match point here. Just obliterated on the echo there. We see Jarvan runs in and Jarvan just goes down. And okay, Aatrox is trying here, but the
Jinx is excited.
Yeah, Jinx is excited. Jinx is changing targets here. She's gonna kill Victor. Hold the phone. We might actually still be in this one. She's targeting the minions here because we have some zoning going on from the Aatrox. And this is Synthet and Snuff saying we are not dropping this game yet. 9.3k may be the gold lead right now, but our base is alive, which means we have a chance, and we are going to try to keep this one alive.
Right, let's see that again.
Yeah, hold up. So first things first, keep your eyes on Never. Oh wait, no, Never's already dead. Ignore me. Can't even see that. Okay, a little bit of missed execution there from Puppy. She misses the Glacial Prison, and Nasvara only lands one Fear with the Dragon form. So not the cleanest of executions here from Meeper. I think they maybe get a little too eager at the idea that they can end this game right here and now. And then we see they get clumped in there. Kentro, really good Cataclysm, locked them in, and then the Super Mega Death Rocket done tons of AoE damage. Poor targeting here from Meeper, I think, as well, means that they don't just hit the Nexus. You know, the whole, don't hit the Vlad, hit the Nexus meme. Low-key, that's kind of what Victor should have been screaming at his team right there, because they were so focused on trying to look at the Jinx that they didn't just, if they had just gone for the Nexus, I think they won then and there. But they got distracted in the moment, you know, a little bit of panic. And now, crucially, all of these super minions are being fed into this Jinx. They're being fed into this Aatrox and this Echo, which is super useful because at this point in the game, right? So I'm sure you've heard before, like, you know, if you've ever watched like a skill cap guide or whatever, there's always the sentiment people say, don't kill the inhibitors too early. Because if you kill the inhibitors too early, you make the safest place in the world for someone to free farm. Because the base is just being spoon-fed super minions. Like, the wave is auto push, and that means that as long as you have someone to catch the wave and make sure they don't hit your Nexus turrets, that person gets to farm for free because you can't punish them. What are you gonna do? Overload the map in their base? Like, it's just not a thing. It just doesn't exist. So, you know, in a situation like this, we can see that the gold lead here for Snuff has reduced a lot. Also, the gold deficit, I should say, has reduced a lot. It was like 4k not but like 5 minutes ago, and it's now 1.6 because she's getting so much farm for free in the base, uncontested. She got a double kill in that savior of the Nexus, of the saving of the Nexus even, and then she just gets all this free farm. She's now 46 CS up, where, I mean, you'll remember me saying in lane, it was a bit of a travesty that she didn't have a lead against the melee champion. But here is the problem with having all of your inhibitors down. You've spent so much time in base catching farm, you have to give up the neutrals. And so this means that Baron goes over to Meeper for free.
Oh god, Elder's going down so quick.
Goes for free. They have so much damage here between Llama Knight and the Mahesvara and the GP. Disco Fisk is not someone to scoff at here. And with Elder Dragon, it's so cooked. Like, they can't lose this fight, surely. The Nexus the Nexus turrets have respawned, but with that last big wave of supers, and we add the Baron buff to it as well, it's just so hard. And look at the damage coming out of GP. Oh my god, Echo got popped. One barrel combo and it was all over for him. The Cataclysm is going to come out here to lock 2 people up, but that is all it's going to do because it is not going to stop him from dying. And GP says 1-hit crit on that Nexus. The game is over at just under 40 minutes. And that's going to be match point here for Meepa. So they are 1 game away from making it to the loser semis here. Gonna have to see if they can do it though. You know, Snacks, they had, I don't know, they had weak points in that game, but then there were bits where they played it really well. I mean, you can always look to that top side. I think Synthet did a really good job in the early game, creating a ton of pressure, you know, very close to the other 2 major damage dealers in the game, despite the fact his team was behind by over 10k at one point. But just wasn't enough, you know? It just wasn't enough. And we're gonna really need to see the bot lane here from Free Poros to Snacks do some damage to Meepa, because Meepa's bot lane, I believe it is abusable, right? Like, I think if we take away some of these more obscure picks that they play, like these AP carries, the GP, stuff like that, if you can try to force Disco Fisk onto a traditional AD carry, I think Snuff can beat them really well. But it's just about trying to create that scenario in draft. So we'll have to see if they can, but we should, primarily for my throat right now, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm losing my voice a little bit. We should cut to a break, and we'll be back with you guys in about 5 minutes, give or take.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We just saw a smacking, as some people would call it. What originally we thought, okay, you know, with comps, this going to be an interesting game. You know, 3 Pro Snacks have it in the draft. Totally turned around when we got into game. With what you were saying, there was no plan. You know, there was not much actually going on except in the top lane. You know, it's as you said before, it's not to pin it on one lane, like it's not to pin it on the jungler, but he didn't have an impact. The Jarvan didn't have an impact. It didn't. I don't think I saw a gank from the Jarvan. You know, and that's what
I saw ganks. I only saw ganks mid. I think 2 ganks mid and I think 1 bot. I don't think we saw him top at all, but to be fair, top was winning on its own, so it didn't really need to.
It's fine. But I think we should have seen more from the Jarvan.
Yeah, I think when you pick a Jarvan, especially when you pick a Jarvan that early into the draft, you know, you kind of assume some proactivity. But yeah, I think it was difficult for him, and I think less so about the proactivity and more like the comp they built just couldn't back to front well, and they didn't set up around objectives enough to the point where like either they wouldn't be able to do what their team wanted to do, which was get picks.
Yeah. Or
if they did do it, they had to do it at the behest of losing something else, because the enemy team would have push in all 3 lanes, or you know, they would be split pushing or something. So it'd be like, yeah, cool, you did win this fight 4v5, but Sejuani just got 2 turrets or something, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that was the problem, right?
I think also potentially the unconventional pick in the bot lane of what was it, the Gangplank. You know, that's not something people normally come up against. So you're part. It
was also not punished. Yeah, it was not punished at all. I think GP got to scale really cleanly in this game, and so it meant that yes, cool, they technically had a lower range comp, but did you abuse the fact they had a lower range comp? Not really. They got away with it. Like nothing happened. So yeah. But what I want to think about here is, I know that Meepa are on blue side for this game. They've gone for the red side here for Snacks, so they want to prioritize that R5 counter pick, probably again for top lane, I imagine. So I imagine we're going to get a B1 jungler out of Meepa, trying to further punish Kentro's champion pool. Because that is what happened in game 1, right? They took away Sejuani, they took away Shyvana, he took the Jarvan, so 3 of his primary junglers are already out of the game. Meaning, I'm trying to think of junglers we've seen him play so far that aren't those 3. I think Mundo is still available. Vi is the one that it looks like they've taken here. Is this in order? Do we know?
No,
did they B1 the Vi?
Let me check. This is definitely not in order.
No worries, I can talk a little bit about the team comps while you work out if the Vi was B1. If we look here at the Meepa draft, we have Tahm Kench in the top lane, Vi in the jungle, Veigar in the mid lane, and then Twitch Lulu as this bot lane. So this team, unlike last team, this is not a front to back comp. This is a pick comp at its heart. We are looking for people to get caught on Cage. We are looking for people to get caught in the Tahm Kench W. We are looking for people to get caught with Whimsy, and we are looking for people to get caught in Vault Breaker or in Cease and Desist. And once that happens, the team needs to unload. You know, we're hitting Spray and Pray, we're landing Dark Matter, we're landing everything we got on that one target to make a man advantage. And then when the man advantage exists, that's when we can 5v5. Because it's not 5v5 anymore, it's 5v4, right? But the enemy team, low-key, have drafted the exact same kind of idea. We have Volibear, Nocturne, Ahri. That trio are very excited at the idea of getting picks. They want to dive, right? They want to go behind your turrets with their abilities. You know, like we have Volibear can turn turrets off with his ultimate. Ahri can dash miles away with Spirit Rush. Nocturne can get to someone from 2 screens away with Paranoia. Like, it's so hard to avoid these champions. What I will say though, I don't like in their draft here is that the bot lane doesn't complement their draft at all. They've drafted a very defensive AD carry in Xayah. So Xayah is like, I think this was probably a reactive pick after seeing like Vi and like Vega, right?
Well,
they've gone, so enemy team can blow the fuck out of me, immediately pick Xayah.
So I can let you know that it was Vi, first one.
Vi B1.
Yeah, it's called Vi B1. But then it actually was the Xayah one.
Oh really? They early picked the Xayah.
They early picked the Xayah and the Nocturne. So how it went, so for blue side for Meepers it was Vi, Twitch, Lulu, Tam, then the Veigar. And for Snacks it was Xayah, Nocturne, Melio, Ari and the Volley as the last pick.
So yeah, they did do R5 pick for Synthet again. So Synthet is kind of gonna hope to carry this game, I think, is the plan. And if they get to the super late game, Xayah should be safe enough because she outranges Twitch and she has her ultimate to avoid cease and desist. And it's kind of opium, I think, on the Xayah pick. I'm not gonna lie. I think R1ing Xayah is a dangerous idea when you don't know the rest of the enemy team comp, because like her ultimate doesn't save her from Veigar cage, right? She can't ult over the cage. If she presses R and walks into the cage, I think she still gets stunned when she lands, right?
Well, I think she can avoid potentially the Tam.
Tam W, yes.
Tam W and the Vi ult. I think she can avoid those.
Those are the two major things she can avoid.
Potentially seeing the Vi, that's maybe why they picked it.
I still don't like it when we look at the rest of their draft, right? I like the idea in the against the enemy draft, but I don't like it with your draft. You know, I would like. This is maybe where if you have it in the repertoire, you play a Kai'Sa, you play a Tristana, you play something that wants to move forward with your team. Because the thing is that now when we see Nocturne ult and Ari ult and Volibear ult and throw themselves forward, realistically speaking, Xayah is not going to be in position to DPS. She's going to have to spend seconds walking to the target they dive. Yeah. And that means those are seconds that could make the difference between winning and losing a team fight. And the Melio is nice to keep the Xayah safe. Again, it's another protective layer, it's another protective tool if Xayah is your carry here, but nobody else on the side of Snacks is designed to keep Xayah safe, is designed to even play around her. They don't even really have a front line, because I know for a fact Volibear is not going to build tank here. Volibear is probably going to be building like something like Dusk and Dawn into Navori Flicker Blades into tank from there, right? Which is like very DPS focused. He still feels beefy in extended fights because he has W and he has E, and Flicker Blades reduces the cooldown of those every time he ultos. So he gets a lot of uses of them, which makes him feel beefy. But if he doesn't get those, if he gets caught by the Vi, if he gets caught by the cage, and he doesn't get to use those abilities multiple times, he is as squishy as the Vi will be, you know? And so he's very burstable against this blue side lineup. You know, Veigar has tons of damage. Twitch, when she gets the spray and spray, tons of damage. It's going to be so hard for Volibear, I think, to be able to do anything without just forcing the game to play in side lanes again. And if he does that and his team can't capitalize on the pressure that he makes, then it's going to be for naught, just like it was in game one. But if you're going to put all of your eggs in one person, you know, in one basket here, I don't blame them for putting it on Synthet. I think Synthet is, he was the best performer in game one on their side. And if he can do work on this Volibear, he could make the difference here. But yeah, what we saying about game time? We're going in?
We're going in.
Let's get it. It is time. Ha 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 ha. Sorry. That's how you know the delirium has begun.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
I was about to say.
Show me what you. Oh shit! Wasn't that the
Rick and Morty?
Rick and Morty,
Season
the
1.
fucking planet heads, right?
Yeah. Show me what you got.
Show me what you got.
Swifty.
And then someone would do something and they would think it was shit, and they would blow up their planet, which like low-key valid response. I don't blame them. Damn. We started off strong with everybody missing their abilities. Respectable. Those were all warning shots.
Someone who isn't Rakan.
Hail of Blades on the Vi is interesting. That means we're going for a carry Vi game here. Which, with all due respect, I don't know if Mahasvara has the minerals for that. Like, you know, his champion pool is very much like not 1v9 focused. You know, he likes stuff like Ivan. He likes stuff like you know, Jarvan and stuff like that, but not like full lethality Jarvan, more like, you know, I go for one item, like one damage item, maybe two. I'm going for like Sundered Sky and Black Cleaver, and then I'm going for like Frozen Heart and like other like vegan options. Which, you know, again, Fez. That's how I would play him in Hardstock. Like, you know, you kind of you know your role in the team, and his role in the team doesn't tend to be I'm aiming to be highest DPS. But Halo Blades on the Vi says to me he wants to skirmish, he wants to scrap with this Nocturne in the jungle. Because if he catches him and Spell Shield isn't used effectively, Vi can win. If Vi is ahead, Vi can beat the Nocturne. In the extended trades, Nocturne will always win. But, you know, if we're just talking shit out my three abilities and then, you know, you're dead or you're not dead, Vi should win with Halo Blades. Because she'll land, like, especially if she gets to dictate the fight, if she gets to begin the fight, she should land Vault Breaker. And if he doesn't Spell Shield that, then it's like Vault Breaker, 1 auto attack reset with E, 1 auto attack reset with the second E, you know, with all of the extra damage off of Halo Blades. In theory, at level 3, level 4, Nocturne should just be dead. Like, he really needs to Spell Shield Vault Breaker for that to not just be a kill. And if he's unaware of that, then, you know, he might get punished. Obviously, I think we saw in game 1, I think Mahasvara is the better jungler, so we'll see what happens. They are pathing in opposite directions, but Mahasvara's not actually full cleared here. He's only gone for the he went for his Gromp and left the Wolves up, which is a perplexing clear to me. But he's gonna kill the Wolves and then aim to go probably back to the chickens where he started. So it is an 8-camp clear, but it's still a little bit of a weird one. Meanwhile, Kentro did a traditional clear into killing the bot side scuttle, and he's gonna reset now with a little bit of lost tempo just because he did try to gank bot lane, but it was to no avail. So not much else to talk about there, I don't think. If we look at the lanes here, look at the gold differences and the CS differences here, it looks like mid lane is steadily going in Llama Knight's favor as he has a 6 CS lead and a health lead. Jason Matt has burned through both of his potions and has half HP right now. Meanwhile, Llama Knight is on full HP. Only really thing he's lost is mana, and he's got 1 potion still to his name. I despise this purchase from Nocturne. I know exactly what he's done, and I've made the mistake myself, but then I end up spending a couple seconds fixing it. What he has done is he has had exactly like 900 gold when he's hit his first base off of clearing full clear into crab into base with no difference, like no like anything else, right? And he's hit auto buy on his hex plate, and so it has seen he has 4 lots of 400. So those are the most expensive like components he can buy, right? And so it's just gone, yeah, cool, that's the best option. It hasn't thought about statistically speaking which is actually best. It's just gone, these are the best items I can give you at this time with the gold you have. And what makes them best? I don't know, they cost money. Like, that's genuinely what's happened. The AI has done that, and so he's accidentally bought 2 ruby crystals here, which is going to expeditiously slow his clear. Because he has no AD. He didn't need the health isn't going to make a difference. We're going to see an easy kill here by Synthet. in that top lane. He does disable the tower and then decides to ego in to remain and take one turret shot just for like bans, I guess. In comes the Vi. We're gonna see the Flash Vault Breaker come out. Halo Blades coming in. Ignite pop there by Synthet to scare him away. And gonna get away with that one. Not too bad. That is a big cooldown burn there. Big cooldown burn on the Mahasvara there. His flash is a pivotal tool if he's playing on Vision, right? If people know where he is, his ability to flash Vault Breaker makes all of the difference. Whereas if he's not on Vision, then just regular Vault Breaker can do the job. I also really like this play here by Snacks. They see Mahasvara waste time topside and they're like, look bro, this is free, this is safe, we take this Drake. You know, we lost last game because we barely had any objectives. Let's just prioritize those now in this early game and see what we can do. And so I like that move. It does mess with Kentro's clearing. He is now about a camp down. And it looked like Vi was going to go and punish him for it, but instead she looks to be angling top here. She's left her bot side camps up and is just hovering here, hoping that Puppy top laner can bait. And there we go. Like I said, if you don't have Vision on the Vi, the Vault Breaker still does its job. Gonna see the Tongue Lash whip in the Volibear here. Volibear does get his second use of W off, but in comes Paranoia. He is not going for it though. Took his time on it. And I think that might be the difference that allows Mahasvara to get himself to safety, as Kentro will pick up a revenge kill there, but it is not going to be the double. I think he should have just fully sent it. We knew Vi's cooldowns are down. We knew Tom Kenja's cooldowns were down. If he could have landed the Dustbringer onto 2 members there, I think he could have got a double kill. But I don't know, maybe I'm maybe overcritical because Nocturne is my main. But it's still a net positive, you know. He's not actually behind in gold at all anymore. He's been a lot more proactive in this game than he was on the Jarvan, which we love to see. And if we look at first builds, he's gotten Tunneler, which is, I believe, going to be going into that Hex plate, as I said. So now he's got a little bit of AD in his back pocket, so he will be a little bit stronger here. But on the Vi side of things, we have a Serrated Dirk and a Pickaxe, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is that not Eclipse?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is Eclipse. Let me double check.
Well, what I was going to say is Poppy top laner compared to the last game where it was she was a lot more passive in the top lane, be it because of the pick, a lot more moving forward, like less time to say under the tower, actually trying to go for it, and didn't get the kill but got the assist. Got the ball kind of rolling with the Vi already. And I think with this TAM pick, it's going to be a very big one for later on. I'd say more in the mid game. Especially in the team fights, the knock-up, the grabbing the specific target, you know, most likely trying to grab the Ahri if they can, Zaya, you know, to kind of, one, get them out of the fight, get that main damage deal out of the fight, but 2, to chuck them into an area that you can then isolate and do damage to them. So I definitely feel there's going to be a lot more impact from Puppy this game.
Yeah, I think that their job is a little bit easier, and I think that they have intentionally picked something that I think is less difficult to play. And they're also against a champion that Synthet is less confident on, which I think is also partially what's going on here,
I'm surprised,
right?
You know, he didn't pick that troll pick he did to me in the winter, you know, the Vayne. I'm surprised he didn't pick that, you know.
Let him cook, bro, let him cook. Hold up. Speaking of cooking, we're going to see a gank here from Kentro. Wild Growth is going to come out, but the Paranoia will follow. We're going to be immediately hit by that flash, and it looks like we're going to disconnect from there, so not much else will be gained. Just going to burn Summoners for Paranoia, which is not a bad trade. They also got the heal as well. So as long as we see this Nocturne come back down bot lane, I think that that's actually really good. We punish Slenderwolf again. You know, Disco Fisk is on a really immobile champion as well, so even if he has his flash, you can actually still kill him if you play it correctly. So yeah, bot lane is looking real juicy right now. If we can come back when Paranoia is back up, right? I think there should be free kills to be had if we can play it correctly. Meanwhile, we have a top here, and we can see Dusk and Dawn is completed here for the Volibear. So he has an item lead, and I would like to see him begin to try and use it, try and punish on this harm, but he's playing a little safe. Maybe he doesn't know where the Vi is, and so he doesn't want to commit too aggressively here while they don't know where she is, but you can see some pings coming out on that bot side as well, but not much else really. We do have Drake up. Drake is live right now. Mahaswara just hit that Scryer's Bloom to make sure that they could see what was going on. Also, I looked up what the build here for the Vi could be, and I think it's probably going to be Collector. It's not actually... Eclipse is out of a Caulfield's Warhammer. So the only things that build out of Serrated Dark and Pickaxe are Opportunity, Serpent's Fang, and Collector. I think the most broadly applicable item of the three of those is a Collector, because Serpent's Fang is only really for anti-shields, of which the enemy team only has Synthet, so yeah. Gonna see that blue side are gonna get this Drake here uncontested. There are 4 members of Snacks looking around, but they aren't really contesting, and that's a play I hate to see in any series, because it speaks to the indecision of the team, right? Like if they knew they couldn't contest, they should have just pushed lanes and got stuff. Yeah, like hovering around is essentially, it's like the objective equivalent of putting yourself in the cuck chair, because you aren't getting anything because you're not contesting the objective, but you're just watching them get the thing you want to get. You know, it's just not good. You're much better off just kind of going into, like, let's say they send all 4 of those guys mid. They get the shove mid, they get plates mid. They don't even need to get the turret. As long as they get plates, it will build their lead up a little bit, because the enemy team don't get gold for that Drake. You know, all of the time investment on Drake is purely just because they hope they get soul, right? And I think we see so many games lost at forcing Drake. Although hold up, because Jason's gonna eat an entire combo there, and just doesn't respect the damage out of the ultimate there by the Vega. Llama Knight gonna pop him like a zit. And
sorry, before that, I was actually going to bring up about the mid lane being kind of somewhat AFK in this game before that, but I just noticed Puppy top laner has taken Spellbook, I believe.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
I did not realize that.
I haven't seen them use any any summoners outside of the summoners that they started with, but they do have Spellbook.
They did just use the exhaust, but I think they used the exhaust to get the flashback, to be fair.
Right. Cool.
I think that's definitely an interesting decision.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of makes sense with the Tam Kench, be it that he can, you know, Tam can play in multiple lanes, one being in the support lane where a Spellbook would make sense or work out. So it's a lot more versatile, this Tam Kench pick with Spellbook. I just wasn't expecting to ever see it.
You have not seen too many of the Meepa games then, because yeah, they come out
really
with some wild stuff. But in comes the Kentro pick. Let's see what he can do. It looks like the fight is going to be caught out though here. We're going to see both AD carries are just 1v1ing each other whilst the rest of the teams fight in a 2v3. TP was burnt there, I believe, by Llama Knight. But around the backside, we can see on his own, Jasomat is kind of in no man's land. And if he gets caught in that bush, he is a free kill. But luckily, they do not catch him. And he's going to have to waste a ton of time to get back to his mid lane. But yeah, that's actually not too bad, because nobody died there. Considering the TP commit from Llama Knight, I think that's actually the best case scenario there for the red side. I think that they could have lost a lot more had they committed harder. But luckily, again, no harm, no foul. We take those. Only thing I will say is that Slender Wolf's flash is back up, meaning that the next time Paranoia is up, you cannot punish them anymore. That window is gone. It's going to just be burning that flash again. And yeah, so unfortunate there from Kentro to not be able to actually punish anyone from the flashes that he got. We're going to see Spirit Rush burnt here. Really need the charm to connect. We're going to get the flash out of Mahasfara though, which is good. Again, we mentioned it earlier, but a lot of Vi's deadliness is about how much distance she can cover with the Flash Bolt Breaker to land Cease and Desist. So having that flash down does really limit her effective range. Although, nice ult here by Puppy. Top laner's going to throw Synthet into the turret. Is Synthet low-key losing this? He is not healthy right now. Mahasfara is nearby. We're going to see Flash Auto. Tongue Lash going to go wide. And the wave is now just beginning to kind of pummel onto the Tom. So that's going to be the end of that play.
Now, one thing I was going to say is that, as we can see, the Vi is taking the Herald. The Ahri getting the flash out from the Vi, that was the perfect time to go in and get the Herald. Nocturne was just coming in from the jungle. Oh, I'll let you take over this fight.
I think Synthet might actually just die here. We're going to see the W here used retroactively by Puppy. Paranoia has been burnt here, but it's not going to be a part of this fight, as we're going to see a 1-for-1 there in the top side. See Nocturne now on the bot lane, doesn't actually get anything here, doesn't even get a flash out of the enemy team. We can see Charmer's going to go wide. Unfortunate there for Snacks. They do have the front kind of queue seats here for the Drake, so they're going to start that up immediately after failing to get anything off of the Paranoia play in the bot lane. They know both top laners are dead. I don't believe either of them have TP either. Llama Knight gets the shove here in mid, which means that they have to move Jason out here, but it's just going to be a steal. Oh, that's depressing. And now it looks like Jason might die here, as he has to pop the Spirit Rush to make sure he's not in range of that ultimate there by the Veigar. But not much else will come of it. I think we're going to call it there. Gold lead has pretty much been flatlined. Disco Fisk is going to be able to shove this wave in bot, which means that Snuff is going to lose at least a wave. And this could be tier 1 mid, actually, for Llama Knight, who is building a nice little gold lead for himself. He's at 900 gold. Going to be over a K now, but yeah, look at that. It just comes in, auto, E again, and boom, smite. Vig walks away. Literal drive-by. So unfortunate there for Snacks, as that is going to be a Drake they worked for being taken from their taken from right underneath their nose.
So yeah, what I was saying before, especially, well, with now this steal from the Dragon, Ahri getting the flash off the Vi, Nocturne coming in from the jungle, that was the perfect time to get the Herald, and they didn't. They just decided to go back to lane. Nocturne decided, I'm going to go back into my jungle camp, and the Vi just swooped in and got the Herald. And here, as in Dragon Pit, there was the kind of failed gank on the bot lane. Nothing happened, no flashes or anything was used. Kind of rushing the Dragon, and I think what we saw in that replay, there wasn't any like proper target focus here. They were looking more to the bot lane than on the Vi that just walked in, you know, and just said, "This is mine now. Thank you very much," and just took it.
I agree. Again, one thing that needs to be, I think one thing that's being maybe over-respected at the moment is the fact that the build right now, the charm goes wide there for Jason. Third Spirit Rush will mean that they do finally kill Slender Wolf, but Llama Knight is here with the TP, and that is going to be the end of the play. But yeah, one thing I think that isn't being respected right now, or sorry, is being over-respected, I should say, is they are treating Vi like Vi has tank stats. She doesn't. If you focus her, she will die. Like, with Hexplate and some extra AD here for the Nocturne, I shit you not, the Nocturne can win the 1v1 right now, even though she has Collector. If he uses Spell Shield correctly, and he gets to tether her with his fear, she will lose the 1v1 because they're the same level. They both have AD. They both have a little bit of health. She has obviously more AD because she's got the BF sword, and Collector, I believe, gives more AD than the Hexplate. But especially if you're hitting her off of Paranoia, the amount of attack speed you get off of the Hexplate and the AD you have inherently from Hexplate and from the Warhammer and from the pickaxe mean that I genuinely do think that the Vi loses like 3 out of 10. Sorry, she wins only maybe like 3 out of 10 times. So she would lose like 7 out of 10 times up against Nocturne. Paranoia is going to be called in here. You're going to go 1v4 though, because your team do not move fast enough. And Disco Fisk is going to get the kill before your team is even ready to fight. But in comes Synthet. This is the first time we're going to see him in a map play that isn't in the top lane this game. They're going to immediately kill Slender Wolf. They should get the kill here onto Disco Fisk too. Puppy top laner is looking for the angle onto Xayah. Meanwhile, it looks like the rest of the team are kind of getting split up here. We're going to see a chunk of damage drop there onto Synthet. Synthet gets W2 here though. He's going to have to dodge the Dark Matter, and the charm connects into the Q, and Llama Knight has to flash out. Really nice play there by Jason, and this is what I'm saying, dude. When Jason wants to turn it on, he can be one of the best mid laners in this bracket. He just doesn't turn it on enough. And while I don't know if this is the, we'll have to see because it's only 800
overzealous here.
Synthet is just cooked. Yeah, they really overcooked this one, and I think Ari's doing their best here. I think Ari might get the kill.
And I think that was a bit overzealous from Puppy top lane.
Yeah. This is both parties just like really not knowing when to call it a day. And Mahasvara's even still looks like instead of just basing in a safe place, he was like, oh, let me go check my count. And then as soon as Ari's seen on his in his line of sight, he was like, oh, okay. Maybe let's not do my count. So let's just go base. So
well, this is given opportunity.
Second item IE for the Vi, which is very bold. So yeah, like you said, it's going to be opportunity here for the red side to take this Drake uncontested. Should really be their third Drake, but as we saw in that last one, it just didn't work out that way. Paranoia is burnt here purely to create a little bit of danger to scare Vi from jumping into the pit, but we do get to use it on the tail end of its cooldown to catch Slender Wolf, and that's going to be the second kill of the game for Kentro. So really good there for him. He's gone for Axiom Arc second item. I don't like that in this game. You're way too squishy, and the enemy team has an insane amount of burst. So yeah, I don't really like the Axiom Arc second item. The idea is, oh well, every time I ult I get a kill, and every time I get a kill, a part of my ult cooldown gets refunded with Axiom Arc. Isn't it neat? Like, I get the logic, but like realistically, if we look at the enemy team, if you ult onto Disco Fisk, Slender Wolf is there with Whimsy, you immediately just get turned into a fucking squirrel and then probably bursted. And if you try to jump onto Llama Knight, he plays the cage, and if you get caught in that, you get bursted. And if you try to jump onto the Tom, you're probably not going to get a kill. We do see a nice kill hit onto the Lulu, and it's going to be a double as well, as they're going to get 2 quick kills here onto Ari, 4, 1, and 3 right now. And with the second item completion as well, I like the Lichbane tech here. So Lichbane, I didn't know this was an item Ari's built until my mid laner in Hardstuck, Sparks, built it, and it's like the damage, the single target damage that Ari has with this item is why people take it. So we have a ton of movement because of Malignance, it means we're going to have Spirit Rush up significantly more frequently, and then we have Lichbane for just pure single target damage, because if you Spirit Rush in 1 auto and offer the Lichbane, like the Lichbane will deal a good chunk of damage. So that's the logic here. It looks like we might have a core bear. He's gonna just lose his entire health bar, burns the flash for nothing as he gets shut down there. And that's just gonna be a couple more gold into the pocket of the Mahasvara, who still yet to be punished here for the build they've gone. mega squishy build, but enemy team just do not punish him right now at all.
They just potentially haven't realized the items he's actually taken and the fact that he is squishy. You know, it's probably going off previous games against Vi. Normally it's a tanky kind of build, so not really focusing it that much, I'd assume. Let's have a look at the gold state right now. Of course, again, just like in game 1, Synth at the top of the leaderboard there with, what is that, 16.2k. Next, wait, no, is that 16 or is that 10? Sorry,
that's
10. That's 10, sorry. I've got it on a really small screen. With Mass right up there. Oh, Emilio. Flash.
Emilio gonna burn the flash there, but immediately gets popped by this full damage Vi. Last Whisper is the third item for them as well, which means they're probably gonna be going for Zerelda's Grudge or an LDR here in this game. So yeah, just full on damage from this Vi. And with Emilio dead, that means that with Baron up in a minute until the Mountain Drake comes up, of which will be soul point for whoever gets it, the red side aren't going to have the ability to get vision control of either of these objectives. So, you know, we can see they've got one ward here on the Baron, and we can see that we keep dropping the E on Volibear to try and make sure we have line of sight of the Baron and maybe start it if the enemy team stick around. But we're going to see the Paranoia burn here onto Puppey. Puppey is going to get feared up as well, going to get caught by the tether. Half health now and should die. Synthet will get that kill, but look, 4 members of Meepa here to avenge the Puppey, but I don't think they're going to be able to, because luckily for Snacks, they have learned their lesson and they do not continue to overcommit. They get the thing they wanted and they get out. And that is why they are now a 1.8k gold lead. They are doing the best they can here, knowing that their tournament chances ride on this game, right? They need to win or summer is over for 3 Poros, 2 Snacks. If they cannot bring this game home, it is done for them. And don't get me wrong, a 5th to 6th place finish in summer is not a bad place to be. This is the thing that got to me. I realized when my team got eliminated, it was kind of like, oh man, we got like destroyed in playoffs and it was super rough. Bro, we finished top 8. Top 8 in a 20-team bracket is pretty damn good, right? And in this one, you know, top 6 in a 12-team bracket or whatever it was, an 11 or 12-team bracket, again, not a bad place to be. But this team fight is looking real messy as we see everybody jump off of the Drake here. Jason able to drag that Vi all the way across his own jungle with the Spirit Rush. And that's where we see this full damage build really fail, because you are so squishy that the Spirit Rush and the Deceptive Orb was enough to kill while you were chasing. But look at the damage here that comes out onto Kentro. Kentro has to flash the wall to keep himself safe, and now he's just going to try and solo Drake while the rest of his team try to take the fight. Synthet's going to chase these guys into their own jungle here, but he is kind of all on his own. Ari is nearby, going to finish Slender. 5th death of the game here for the Lulu. I think Slender Wolf has had a much worse game today than he did in game 1. Game 1 on the Braum, he looked real stable. Game 2, he has been a repeat target for the Nocturne, a repeat target for the Volibear. He has not had the same kind of impact, and we're gonna have to keep an eye on it and see whether or not he continues to get punished, because yeah, Lulu is a very punishable, she's a very diveable champion. She can only whimsy one person, right? And that works for allies too. If she wants to move speed buff someone, she has to whimsy them. And if she does that, then you don't get to turn someone into a squirrel because you've given someone else movement speed, you know? And so it's like, if you see that, you know, you have like a 12-second window to just jump on the bitch, and she can't stop you. Like, she can try and heal herself, shield herself. She can try and slow you with Glitter Lance, but like realistically, with the amount of dashes in the game, Glitter Lance ain't stopping shit. So,
well, it's not only Slender Wolf, it's also the ADC for Meepers in this game. It's a complete contrast to game 1. Where on the gangplank,
he's on a standard AD carry this time, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a different ball game.
He is, but he is also on a Twitch who should be dealing a lot more damage. He should be in those type of team fights, be sneaking in and hitting someone, on the side. And so far, I don't think I've seen anything. Right now, his gold. Before in the other game, he was well ahead in gold. Against
holds
Jinx.
up there. We see Meeper looking. Damn, the max range charm onto the Vi, but then Deceptive Orb gets thrown at different targets because they don't want to commit to trying to kill the Vi there for some reason. So she's going to get to walk away with her life. Everybody else involved in the altercation leaves with a little over half HP as a flash there from Synthet. Going to land straight onto Llama Knight. Llama Knight's cage doesn't actually do anything, but now Synthet's kind of in no man's land as we're going to see several members here from Meeper are going to move down. One thing I really like though here, a little adaptation from the side of Snacks. Now finally we're going to see some punishment come out for the we need to charge these motherfuckers for the thing they're getting. Yes, you guys get to kill Synthet because he creates a massive sink of pressure on the bot side. But now we get plates, because you guys have sent 4 members to him. Your minions aren't going to save you. I don't care about that. So ergo, we just, fuck it. We run the game without anyone ever smiling. Yeah. It's such is the life of this game right now. So look at the damage charts and look at the amount of damage that Llama Knight has done in this game. He is kind of looking like a little bit of a shining star in the Meeper side right now because the rest of the team is kind of struggling. We have a full damage Vi that's only got 11k, and Disco Fisk is only on 9, so he really hasn't been finding any purchase in these pub fights. That's what he wants. He wants to find like proper pub fight, proper like brawl where he could just appear and then go, I was hiding, and just spray the shit out of people, right?
This is what I was saying. I was expecting
he's not finding those angles. He's not finding them. Although I will say his build will facilitate it. He's got the Renan's Hurricane, so Renan's Hurricane means he's going to be hitting 3 people at a time. So in these 5v5s, if he can get those angles, he's gonna fucking destroy. But we need to see if he can find those angles. That is the problem. That is also the question. But yeah.
Now this is a contrast to game 1, where at this point it was, I think, probably 4 or like 8k gold lead for the Meepers. Snacks have definitely turned it around in game 2. They do have a plan. And they, I think, have been consistently ahead in the gold throughout the whole game. Which is a good contrast. It's good to see. It's just, will they be able to hold it out to the end?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the main difference here is that Snuff on the Xayah has just been that little bit more proactive, that little bit more like on the map, right?
Yeah.
I think that in game 1 they didn't really do anything which allowed the GP to be able to scale for free, right? Whereas in this game, I feel like the Xayah, we've seen them really aggressively positioned at times. We've seen them unnecessary there for the spell shield. There was nothing really to shield, but I understand the instinct to panic do it once you've taken a ton of damage. But look, this is a 5v4. Synthet's not here, and we're gonna catch 3 people in the cage, and we're gonna catch 3 people with the W, and Snuff is gonna go down. Nevolution's gonna die as well, and that's a quick triple over to Llama Knight. And as quickly as we praise them, we have to say that things have gone a little sideways here for the red side, as Synthet's gonna throw himself in. He's gonna get munched up by the Tom Kench, and that's just a straight up ace. Alongside gonna be the Drake here as well, putting both teams on soul point. Baron is up too if they really wanted to go for it. They have about 10 seconds until Nebe is up, and Nebe cannot stop them. It will really be Snuff respawning that threatens their ability to take this, and the fact that the Vi will probably be taking a ton of damage from the objective because she is a squish ball right now. So they've got it already down to nearly half. We've got our resident guard duty in the Lulu here, making sure that it's hard for the enemy team to get in. and that will be a free Baron. And the gold lead, as quickly as we praise them, the gold lead swings, and it's now 1.1k for Meepa. So, you know, Vi had a monstrous fight there, and she's now got a 1k gold lead for herself.
It all started off with the Vi in that bush. What was that? I think that was the flash ult, and then the Veigar cage getting 3 men was just perfect. And here I think Synthet's just trying to salvage sinking ship.
We're trying to find something on a sinking ship, and yeah, at that point it is a little bit cooked. I think that was a bit of a desperation play there, you know, and you don't want to be in that position. If you ever feel like you're in the position where you need to make something work because you have no choice otherwise, I think that, you know, you might be better off just not doing that. But we're gonna see here, it looks like we're gonna get another kick here as Ahri is just obliterated. And look at the gold lead in this mid lane, by the way, 3.6k in between both players. So Llama Knight is so much more online right now than the side of the Veigar. He just looks so much better right now.
It was neutral up until that last fight.
Yeah, last 2 to 3 fights. Yeah, last 2 to 3 fights have been very much Llama Knight just taking names and you know, just running things as he takes down another turret here in MiniLCS Summer Invitational 2026. Double kill gonna come over for Disco Fisk, and they're gonna flash Q here, trying to get Kentro. Kentro gets popped by the ulti. Puppy top laner didn't even need to land the W, and that is the bases in tatters. After that, Vi wasn't even a part of the play. She's just taking stuff, and yeah, I think it is. We're at 37 minutes in game. I don't think they could do anything. Spirit Rush is going to come out, just gets popped immediately. Llama Knight is insanely strong. And that gold lead blew up. That was just, they were 4.5k gold lead down 6 minutes ago. If that, less in fact. I think it was 33 minutes. And that was brutal. Really well played there by Meepa. Their substitute players there came in super clutch there. Oh damn, what's good, Tuba? Twitch chat saying you looked away for 5 minutes yesterday and the game has ended. Yeah, look at the gold graph, man. That is such a sharp end. Just like, oh yeah, this game looks kind of one-sided for the other side. They look real strong.
Yeah, it's just one team fight, and that's it right now in the current state. Well, current meta, current patch, whatever you want to say, of League of Legends. You know, one fight could cost you the game, and it was that one fight before in front of the Dragon Pit that cost Snacks the game. They, as we've seen, the gold lead, they had the lead. They were pushing on the door off Meepa's, but it just fell apart. It was so dramatic. It's so like drastic as well. That is a bug with the graph. Ignore the Infernal Souls. I don't know what the hell is going on there.
Damn, they got 5 drakes. That's crazy, bro. I said 3 Poros, 2 Snacks. Nah, 3 Infernals, 2 Mountains, bro. What the hell? I'm dead. This is why I shouldn't do a full shift at work into a nearly at midnight cast. Like, I am actually in a state of delirium right now.
You didn't have to say yes.
You're right, I didn't, but I felt obligated to. Because I wanted to make sure that I feel like we've been a little slacking on the streams part, because I've been, you know, unlike winter where I took three months off work, you know, on like a reduced days to accommodate the tournament. I didn't have the annual leave to do that shit this time, so I've just not been streaming nearly as much because I just haven't had the energy to. And so, you know, I want to make sure we do stream as much as we can, because I do feel like, you know, the viewers want to see themselves on stream. Like, there are teams that just didn't get streamed, you know. Playoff teams that have not been streamed yet, or I don't think, maybe at this point, maybe not, but they might already have been eliminated and have never been on stream.
Yeah.
I don't think Team Wind has ever been on official broadcast, and they are in playoffs right now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think they have, just not in playoffs. I think they got one. They got one, maybe in groups. But yeah, with that, we are trying to get all of the games that were done in playoffs, all of the series, that were done in playoffs, recorded and then chucked up onto YouTube. They might not have commentary, but they will have the overlay over the top, so you can see it. We'll see if people want to do commentary for it, but they will be in due time. It probably won't be this week. It will probably be a week or two after the tournament
or something.
But all the playoff games will be on the YouTube channel, so you will be able to see yourself win or lose.
All that playoff glory, baby. Let's get it.
But that is it for 3 Pyro Snacks. They are knocked out of the Summer Invitational tournament.
Hey, yo. Thank you for the bits. I don't know what bits are. I feel like I'm too old for bits.
We need you. Where's Eunice? He knows what bits are. They are a form of kind of.
Yeah, I know they're like
currency.
a Twitch currency. Yeah. I know that much, but I don't know what they do or what they are. I know what my bits are, but I don't know what Twitch bits are. You know what I'm saying? Sorry.
Well, and with that, Meepers progresses on to the losers semi-finals, where do we know who they're up against? No, we don't know who they're up against.
Yeah, we don't know yet. I could tell you the current score, but
yes, I do know the current. I do know the issue. Do what happened. So we would have told you today who they're up against. You would have seen it on the website, but sadly, due to the Riot servers crashing, apparently last night, this game and the other loser quarterfinals Weenie Hut game happened last night. Meepers 3 Pro Snacks got to run their games through. Sadly, Cornball and Torture versus Dagstonian Death Squads only got to play one game before they got abruptly kicked out of the servers. So we'll be continuing that game on Sunday. If that will be streamed or not, we will see, as we have quite a lot of games to fit in. So we'll find out those results on Sunday. But we already know who's going to be in the losers finals, and that is Rift Raiders. So out of Meepa, Hardly Noah, Cornball and Torture, Dagstonian Death Squads, they have to go up against the Rift Raiders.
Yeah, one of them will meet Rift Raiders in losers finals on Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
Just quickly before we cut, we need to do MVP.
Yes.
So I think the MVP was clear cut in this game, but I'll see what you say first, and then we'll go from there.
Oh no, you say yours first.
Llama Knight. I think Llama Knight was the clearest best performer in the entire series.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah. Alright. Thank you everybody for coming into the stream. We're gonna cut. We will see all of you guys on Sunday for some more action. Until then, try not to die in this heat, because I'm dying. Peace.
Bye.